Hello everybody, this is Sarahscopic and you're watching Traffic Musings. So as you can see, I part my hair to the side like this. I swear it's relevant to what I'm going to be talking about. My hair actually naturally parts in the middle, or at least it used to, but I never liked that for various reasons, and so now I always part it to the side. Why this particular side, I really can't say. I just have always done that. And what's really funny about this is that it turns out I part the left-handed way, because the idea that you would use your left hand to part your hair, while if you do it this way, your right hand would part like that. And it's kind of funny to me because I am not left-handed whatsoever. I am very much right-handed, trust me. But I am a little bit weird in that my body thinks I am ambidextrous, but I'm not actually ambidextrous. And I know that sounds very bizarre, but let me explain. So I was born right-handed, I've always been right-handed, no problem there. But when I was younger, I thought the idea of being ambidextrous was really cool. You know, you hear about Leonardo da Vinci and how he was ambidextrous and he was able to write with one hand and draw on the other. Now, he was a renowned genius and lots of other ridiculous things, and I don't know how he was even human, but still, I just always thought the idea of even being ambidextrous, not even doing that, but just the idea of being able to use either hand for any situation sounded really awesome to me. And so, when I was younger, probably in high school, I decided that I wanted to learn to be ambidextrous, and I was going to train my body to do so. Spoiler alert, I am not ambidextrous. I just instead have this other weird thing where my body thinks I am, as I said before. So basically, I start off small. You know, at first I tried to jump right in and tried to write with my left hand because I figured if I could learn to write with my left hand, then I could learn to do anything with my left hand. And that didn't go well because, yeah, I mean, I could at least, like, hold the pen, but everything else didn't quite work. So I would do little things, you know, I would start carrying things with my left hand more, so I'd build up strength. And that had a very unintentional effect now where I believe my left hand is actually somewhat stronger than my right hand, like, just by, like, how much I can lift with it. I think that's now since kind of gone back to the right hand, but there was a time where it was lopsided that way. But anyway, I would do things like that. I would try doing also little things like opening my locker. I would try to do locker combinations, which very difficult if it's with a hand you're not used to, because all of a sudden everything's backwards. And then eventually I would start writing, kind of like I would start what kindergartners do. I would do the alphabets, you know, all the way through with my left hand, repeated over and over again. And it's actually funny, you can find old school notebooks of mine, where if you look at, like, the back pages, you'll just see, like, pages and pages, not pages, I guess, but, like, a couple pages of me trying to do the alphabet with my left hand and writing it, you know, each letter over and over again. Because whenever I was bored, that's what I would do. And considering the amount of time I spent on it, you'd think I'd be better, but I'm really not. I really can't effectively write with my left hand still. But I would try. I would keep doing this. And what ended up happening, funny enough, is I'm not ambidextrous, but I, like, unlocked a muscle. Have you ever, it's hard to explain, but have you ever had a thing where you basically unlock a muscle? Like, you literally can feel the neural pathway in your brain all of a sudden making a connection of exercising some kind of random muscle in your body, and, like, the more you do it, then it's finally becomes, like, second nature to you. That's basically what happened. I unlocked the neural pathways of the idea that my left hand can do the same things as my right hand can do. It just isn't as, doesn't have as much finesse with it. And I knew I was in trouble when basically, the best way I can explain it is one thing that, true story that happened to me that I always tell people whenever I talk about this, which is I was in choir class in high school. We had to try on our uniform, figure out which uniform fits and all that kind of stuff. Well, that includes shoes. So I had these, special stage shoes that we had to wear for the girls in the choir, and I put them on. I'm like, okay, yep, these are the ones, these fit me. And someone gave me a permanent marker, and I said, okay, make sure you write your name on both shoes. Well, I was a lazy person. A normal person would have taken off their shoes and written them. I was lazy. So I had, in my right hand, because right-handed, I pick up my left foot, I write my name. Without thinking, I transfer the marker to my other hand, to my left hand, and try to write my name on my shoe. It doesn't hit me till I get to the R of my name that, wait a second, I'm not left-handed. What am I doing? And it wasn't even a, I'm going to try to write my left hand. It was just an automatic process. I didn't even think about it. I just tried to. And again, I mean, I wrote it. Doesn't mean it looked pretty, but my name's on that shoe, and I wrote with my left hand. Basically, I was already like, well, we're already doing this. Let's just keep going, and I did it. And this isn't the first time it's happened. I mean, when I would do like math homework, I had weird issues where I would put the book on the wrong side of me to do my homework, and so I would sometimes have it where my journal was on my left side and the math book was on my right. And you know, at first, you know, sometimes I would not think about it, and I'd have my pencil in my left hand and try to write out the math problems, and I'd be like, wait, this doesn't work. And then I would, you know, scrunch over my right arm to still write it, because for some reason my book had to be my right. I don't really understand that one, but I would do weird things like that. I'd have to like flip things around, so it's like, no, you're not left-handed, stop it. You know, and it was a very, very strange thing. I think it also doesn't help that those who know me, I wear a bracelet. It says WWJD. It's probably backwards on here because it doesn't. Anyway, it says WWJD. What would Jesus do? I've been wearing this bracelet since I was like 5. Not this particular bracelet, but bracelets like these since I was 5. It's just, it's always been there. You know, it's habits, and you know, it speaks also just you know, supposed to show my faith and such like that. So it's an outward expression of that. But beside the point, I've always had this bracelet, and when I was younger, I put it on my left hand, my left wrist. And I think at the time that was because, you know, well, I'm right-handed, that's where I should put it. And as I got older, my mother kind of found this weird, because she wears these bracelets too, and she always wears it on her right wrist because she wore a watch on her left wrist, like a right-handed person would do. The problem is that I have had this on my wrist longer than I've worn watches. So when I started wearing watches, which wasn't, I don't really wear one anymore, but when I would wear watches very frequently, which started around high school, it was always on my right wrist, and I just didn't bother changing it. And so I always would write, you know, on my right-handed with the watch on my wrist. It wasn't until I was older that I found out this was a weird thing to do, that you don't wear your watch on the hand that you write with, because it's in the way, obviously. And I just never thought that was weird. I would just, you know, go with it. And it's kind of funny because I think about how, you know, people tell handedness usually by where you wear your watch. And, you know, those shows like CSI or even Sherlock Holmes where, you know, they look at a dead body and they can tell like a billion things about them just by, you know, how they died and whatever, just by looking at them. And I remember an episode of like CSI, I think, it might have been Sherlock, but like one of those kinds of shows where they look at a dead body and they're trying to decide, they're assuming, I think, right-handedness, and someone goes like, no, this person's left-handed. And they're like, how can you tell? And they're like, well, see their watch is on their right hand, therefore they must be left-handed. And I always have entertained this idea about if I was murdered, you know, a normal, reasonable idea to think about. If I was murdered and I had my watch on my right hand, and poor Detective Sherlock Holmes is trying to solve my case because, you know, that's just great, and he assumes that I am therefore left-handed because of where my watch is, and I just want to see, like, one of my family members go, what are you talking about? She was right-handed. And he'd be like, no, she must have been lying. And they're like, no, really, she's right-handed. And they'd show pictures. And basically, poor Sherlock Holmes has to contend with the fact that why would a right-handed person wear their watch on their right hand? That's just not logical. Well, guess what, Sherlock Holmes? People aren't logical. If you get that through your brain, maybe you could solve mysteries better. I'm just kidding. He's actually really good at solving mysteries, but it's also fiction, so it all correlates. Listen, I actually like Sherlock Holmes quite a bit. I like also tearing apart those constructs of those characters because I'm also weird like that. If you didn't get the idea that I'm weird, that I'm not, then you haven't been watching Sarahscopic for a long enough time, in which case I got more episodes for you to look into. So yeah, I just always find that really weird about myself. And now, like, I wear hair ties on my right hand mostly, and I would wear a watch if I could, but I don't, because I have a watch, but I need to get it fixed, and I've had it for over a year, and I'm just bad at things like that. It's hard to get me to do things sometimes, but there's no bearing to what we're talking about, so yeah, I guess that's it. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I hope something amazing happens to you. Without further ado, I hope to see you all in the next episode. Bye-bye!